Welcome back to the Death, Taxes, and Bananas podcast, where you can once again watch every episode, this one included, and all of our coverage of season 40 on the Ringer Reality TV YouTube channel. So head over and subscribe so you don't miss a moment. If you want to know why I sound the way that I do, it's not because I was up yelling at the TV all night during last episode for not showing enough foot content. I mean, where's this been my whole life? Now all of a sudden it's like a shock that, you know, you have to have nice feet to join the alliance. Apparently so. But it's actually not from yelling at TV. It's because I sent it to the moon and back for my 1-year anniversary of Rumble on Saturday. A lot of challengers were in attendance. We had a great time. But yeah, I've been licking my wounds ever since. And I got my voice back, sort of. So that's why I'm going to be a little bit raspy. But enough about me. We just witnessed yet another, in my opinion, spellbinding and riveting episode. Those are my new favorite buzzwords now, of the challenge. And there was a lot of tomfoolery. There was some shots taken, big time shots. But that's where we are at this point in the game. And that's what's making this season, I think, it's what's keeping it afloat and keeping it spectacular, is everyone, even this point in the game, seems to still be bringing it. Usually once we hit, you know, the final leg or, you know, the final third, everyone just kind of wants to lay low. No one wants to make any waves. Everyone wants to just kind of like keep their head down and ride it to the final. Not this season. All right. Not this season. With a few notable exceptions, everyone is still bringing it, going hard in the paint, and my next guest included. So today we're going to be talking to a person who redefines toughness. All right. A person whose soul was forged by harsh winters and relentless landscapes. Someone who will do anything, and I mean anything, to stay in the game. She is not not yet. Oh, that's coming. She's not afraid to play dirty. She's not afraid to kiki until sunrise. And up until recently, I didn't know what kikiing was. But for those of you out there who aren't 16 years old, kikiing is like gossiping and spilling tea and talking shit. She's not afraid to kiki until sunrise or slither her way through challenges or up a 6'6" British tree, outsmarting and outplaying her opponents at every turn. Some call it snaky, but I would call it survival. So without further ado, Mrs. Olivia Kaiser.
Hey, y'all.
In case you couldn't tell, there was a bunch of people clapping. We're just going to have to put them in post.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I had such an aggressive clap.
My cheerleader right here.
Oh, you got a cheerleader?
Yep.
Who? Let me see. What's her name?
Oh, she didn't want to go downstairs, so she's doing it.
There she is. There she is.
I'm not here, by the way, but I got nowhere else to go unless I leave.
No. It's all good. He's just there to make sure. He's just there to make sure we don't talk too much shit on him, right?
Exactly.
He's there to keep an eye on things, an eye and an ear on things.
Mm-hmm. He's here to cuss you out in case you go too crazy.
Not going to happen. I'm not going to say anything mean. Speaking of which, so Devin let you out of the cage, huh?
Oh my God. That is just going to live in your head forever. Listen.
That's cool.
Devin is my friend. I thought he was your friend, so I'm confused on the situation in itself, but...
I don't understand. What, friends can't have pets? I'm fine with Devin having whatever pet he wants. He doesn't know this. I have a Siamese fighting fish. And a squirrel.
Oh yeah, you do. Okay.
And he's totally, and houseplants, and he's totally okay with me having those pets. So I am too. Dev, listen, if you want to keep listen, man, you want to keep a snake, then just go ahead. I know, I think that was a little, Olivia, I think that was a little lowbrow for me to say. All right. I'll just put it out there.
Wow.
But, well, no, I'm just saying, I'm not saying it was untrue. I'm just saying it was lowbrow. Yeah, so just to put it out there, I like to just start off just, getting over all the uncomfortable things in the beginning. Because you and I have for the most part, over the seasons, always had a very good relationship.
Yeah.
But this just goes to show sometimes that once the game gets involved, sometimes it could also interfere, in relationships. And I think, that's what happened this season. But
yeah, I mean, I think like the game is so much more complex than anyone really truly knows unless you have played it before. And just the amount of cross relationships that everyone has and like the level of relationships with this person, it might not be as strong as you have with that person. And it just gets messy, and it's just part of the game. And it's unfortunately and fortunately what makes the game great and, non-predictable.
Let's talk about love. Enough about us. We'll get back into that. So I had Theo on recently, very recently, actually, back to back, you two. In fact, listen, a lot of people are like, oh man, like, why'd you put the people up that you did? Here's the thing. I was going to say somebody else to go in instead of you. But once Theo left, I was like, I can't have you guys be separated for too long. They say old people and couples that have been married for a long time. Once one of them dies, it's only a matter of time before the other one dies. I didn't want you to die, Olivia. So I was like, I think,
Thank you, honestly.
All right, but what was my dying wish before I went home? What did I ask you? Do you remember?
You asked me to, if Olivia finds out that you have a hinge, just to tell her that it's mine.
Oh my God, fuck you.
They
Take
never showed
ownership?
it. My dying wish of Bananas was to save you. And he was like, dude.
That's right.
He was like, dude, who else do I got to pick? And I was looked around. I was like, oh, yeah, fair enough. It's already gloves off now anyway. I thought I'd try.
All right. So Theo actually did that twice. There was 2 times when Theo's nobility shined through. Assholes, listen, chivalry is not dead, and assholes do in fact live forever. Because it was after I first targeted you and Michelle when I made the infamous Devin's future ex-girlfriend and snake comment. We get back to the house and all the boyfriends attacked me. First it was Kylan being like, wait a minute, dude, you didn't know that Cara Maria might not be an option? I was like, no, that never crossed my mind, considering the fact that Rachel just won and she was an option. But Theo said the same thing. He comes up, he goes, man, why'd you have to say that, dude? Like, come on. I'm like, Theo, hey, being a good boyfriend. But then, yeah, after our elimination, he was like, can you please do me a solid and not say Olivia's name?
I mean, that's very kind of him. I'm surprised he even did that because in what world would you not have? I mean, what? But I appreciate your effort, babe. It means the world.
I was in the middle of your two's whatever was going on. Johnny is my old friend. You was my new girl. I didn't know.
New girl? I was your old girl that got replaced by your new girl.
I know, my old and my new clashed. I was heartbroken. It's like being a parent and seeing your children fight. I was heartbroken.
Was I not? Okay, let's rewind, because before things got sticky between us, was I not the biggest Olivia and Theo stan? Was I not bigging my boy up like nobody's business?
No, yeah. I mean, I remember at the beginning, truly, I don't know, because I truly don't know what and where things truly went wrong. I don't know if it was the way the house was divided in just sleeping arrangements either. But at the beginning of this game, for a fact, because we were close at the beginning, I was like, oh, I can't stand Theo. He's so annoying. And you would be like, give him a chance. He's not that bad. You'll warm up to him. And I was like, no, I'll literally never. And you did only say great things about him. And I did give it a chance, and look what happened. So I should be thanking you, Johnny.
But remember that branch only stretched so far, because remember when we tried to move into Error 1 and I made the bed, and they didn't show this, but I made the bed, and I was like, we're moving rooms, aircon's broke. And Banana's like, absolutely not. And he chucked our bed out of the window. Twice.
Okay. No,
yeah, our pillows, our mattress, our bed sheets.
No.
And then he got Nehemiah to sleep on my bed. And I nearly had to punch Nehemiah in the face for stealing our bed right at the end. And we all said it was you. And everyone from there around the house is like, oh, because he doesn't like you and Olivia being together, or Olivia being with you. So he doesn't want you staying on that side of the house. I was like, but that's my boy, man. I just want to sleep well. And he didn't show any of that.
They didn't. And this was a huge, you know what? Maybe if we talk about it, because a lot of times when I raise hell about deleted scenes, i.e. my toast, somehow they just happen to pop up. There was, this was a huge it almost turned into like a pretty big hoopla.
No, like hands, like throwing hands.
Throwing hands.
Yeah.
Or as Brad would say, a real humdinger. Where basically what happened was the air conditioning, or as Theo calls it, the aircon in 3 and 4. Yeah. Theo didn't get enough airtime on last episode. He didn't
get airtime this season at all.
Their AC was broken, and because Theo and Olivia were, having so much hot and sweaty sessions, they needed to like cool off. So they decide, hey, even though the battle lines have been drawn in the sand and Bananas and is taking fire from everyone in the house, let's now move our beds into their wing so we can like sleep in there now. And I'm like, yo, like the lines are drawn. It's that side of the house and this side of the house. There's no commingling here. But I wasn't the one that threw your mattress out the window. That was all Nehemiah, dude. Nehemiah didn't want to ruin his zen, all right? And I didn't tell him not to.
You definitely done it once. We seen you do it. You were chucking the pillows out. And anyway, even though the lines were drawn, there wasn't drawn between me and you. So that's why I was like, that's why I was heartbroken.
They were fuzzy. They weren't drawn.
I'm not coming for you.
Theo,
wait,
okay.
Yes, are you saying
right.
that I'm the problem?
Theo, no, the lines weren't drawn, but the lines were definitely blurred because you got put in between a rock and a hard space, dude. You got put in between your homie and your girl, dude. And I get it. Like, there's certain things that she can provide you with that I can't. Like the ability to shed my skin every 9 months.
Listen, whatever you want to believe, I'm going to like die on this hill though. I never tried to break up this little romance you and Theo had, this bromance, whatever. Did I roll my eyes a lot of the times if I didn't agree with something? Did I like, I don't know what it's called.
No, what would happen? You'd say something. I would laugh because obviously I think you're funny. Then Olivia would be like, that's not funny. I'll go,
because it was at my expense most of the time.
I thought it was funny. I'd be laughing at everything. He'd be like, he's not funny, Theo. He's being really immature. I go, I know, but that's why I like it.
You were like, babe, do you know who you're dating?
Yeah, Mr. Mature over here.
Yeah.
It's a shame because I thought at least of me and Nehemiah's situation. Obviously, you didn't see it, but because we walked into.
Well, at this point, everything was your fault, Johnny. Right? Like, everything was your fault. Like Nehemiah slept in our bed. Johnny is to blame,
Yes.
Yeah. So
I'm glad you saw that. Did you? That's what always tends to happen is everything that ends up happening, somehow I'm responsible for.
Well, did you listen?
Good, say it. It's all right. Did I what?
Did you have any influence on, Bedgate going down?
Okay, here's the only influence that I had on that. Mm-hmm. Because obviously, okay, here was my concern, Olivia, at this point, right?
Yes.
The reason that I gave you the snake moniker, okay, was I guess maybe I should have said you were more like, what are those birds that you talk and then they hear what you say and then they repeat it?
Parrot.
Oh my gosh, a mockingbird.
A mockingbird.
A mockingbird, a parrot, a cockatoo, a dodo, whatever they are. I think that would have been more accurate because I felt like, and you're good at this, at, kind of picking up intel from what's going on and then being able to disseminate it to those that you're working with. So my concern was if you guys came in, not only would you be keeping us up late at night, clapping cheeks, but also I'm going to be like, anything that we talk about is going to be like, we're safe over here because no one that we're not working with is over here. But then if you guys come, we're not going to know when you're in the room. You might be there. And then our conversations are no longer going to be private. You guys even went as far as, and Michelle too, as to sit outside of our window down on that couch and eavesdrop on what we were talking about. So for me, it was more like, it was more like just trying to protect the conversations that we were having. So I just voiced that aloud in front of the rest of the members of the room. And then they took that and did what they want with it. So Nehemiah, I never once told Nehemiah to do anything, to move beds. I
was convinced that you did because I nearly got kicked off the show because of that. Because he was in the bed, me and him started putting hands on each other. I ripped the blanket off him in a little tug of war, the blanket, and I was going to jump on him and start strangling him. And I thought, I'm so too far to the final to do that. I get kicked off now. So I just wrapped up the blanket, chucked it in his face, swore at him. And then remember across the other side of the room, I was like, Nia's a dead man walking. And then he comes, then the next morning, he comes to the bottom of my bed at 4 a.m., remember? With a bottle of beer.
On a challenge day.
On a challenge day, he goes, Theo, I'm really sorry about last night. Here's a beer. I'll go, last thing I want to look at is a fucking beer right now, all right? It's 4
This is
a.m.
when they started like cracking down in the house, saying you only can drink beers on the steps. So like, of course, Theo, you know, he like
Bedgate nearly got kicked me off the whole show, pretty much.
Bedgate.
No, you trying to choke Nehemiah with a fucking blanket almost got you kicked off. Not moving up the beds.
Theo got into a couple little arguments this season that weren't shown.
Five, and I still get called the most boring player on the show.
You know what, Theo? I feel you know what? And I think that right there shows that, you know, he's sticking up for his girl. Listen, he cares about you so much, Olivia, that he doesn't even want you to talk on your own episode of the podcast. He's like, babe, I got this.
Trust me. I talk enough in our spare time. I'm letting him have some.
All right, anyway, that's
I got this.
That's our segment done. I'll just sit back and go on my phone now. Anyway,
listen, just like you said, you were guilty by association of just everything that was going down. I hear what you're saying about, we'll call it the tattletale.
Yep.
But also, that is the game. Everyone whispers out everything they hear, and also, truly, I did not run and tell Devin. I'm happy they showed that it was Michelle running to him. Did I verify it? Yes. But I was not running to him being like, Devin, I have something to tell you. Like, why do I want him to like, you know, give me a freaking cookie? Like, so although it was true, it was taken out of context.
It was but that was my point from the beginning. This is what I told you. Yes, you took one little snippet of the conversation Michelle and I had. Did I say at one point in our conversation, because you know as well as I do, what they showed in the episode wasn't the actual conversation. They somehow like Frankenstein some audio together from some other time and played it as if we were talking about on the bus when that whole conversation took place at the bar. And there was no cameras there. And I remember it was me and Michelle talking and then you sitting right next to us.
Yeah.
This is before this whole warfare between him and I went down. So you and I were still like, dude, on the same page. I was still cool with everyone. Tori, you know, Michelle, like this.
I thought you and Devin were cool. That's why I was like shocked that there was hesitation in like their relationship, I guess, or like from your end, because I was like, I thought you and Devin were cool. This is what it also is.
Yeah.
If someone's not directly in the argument, even if you think everyone knows everything, sometimes they're just so disconnected. I was really unaware. I was in my own world, La La Land. And truthfully, when we were at the bars, I was just trying to fish for any drink in sight. I was like, where can I get a drink? So like, I'm not stupid. I'm not saying I'm oblivious to everything, but because it wasn't as important to me in my life of Devin and Michelle, real or not real, whatever it was in the moment, you know, I was just there for that one conversation you had. And of course, I'm shocked by it because I'm like, wait, where is this coming from? Because I thought you and Devin were really good at the time. I didn't realize there was this whole other thing going on about you wanting to leave, whatever it may be.
That's what you got from it? Me wanting to leave. How about How about him telling me that he was going to come after me at the halfway point, and then the me wanting to leave thing was his justification afterwards to basically rewrite history, his revisionist history of why he said, I'm going to come after you with that. You know as well as I do, Devin is made famous by the expiring deal, okay? Yeah. And his deal with me was, we're cool until the halfway point. After that, I don't want you in my game, and all bets are off. So I took that as, all right, you've already shown me when you're going to come after me. I'm not going to wait till then. Michelle, you and I are cool. I see you and Devin getting close again. I just want to make sure that if and when him and I come to a head, that you kind of like, you know, don't take his side and understand that we're cool too and just kind of stay out of it. That was kind of like what I wanted the conversation to be. Now, did it get a little more in depth than that? Yes, just because of, you know, extemporaneous circumstances with their relationship prior to coming on to the show, whatever. We don't need to get into that. But that was like the crux of the conversation. And then but unfortunately, the way it was disseminated to him was, Banana says you're just using me for game. And if you distill it all down and you take everything else out, yes, that could be one of the points that I made, but that wasn't the only point. And again, I feel like that was then taken to him and used in a way to make it a more inflammatory conversation, which I get. Olivia, this is what I love about you. This is why you're on the show. And this is why you keep getting invited back, because you make good TV and you talk shit and you stir the pot, and real recognize real.
Listen, I just see my friend Michelle, who, because I know Devin and her history, I know like it's so real for her. And even to this day, I'll say it's so real for him. Like I'm not going to take that away from either of them. But obviously at the time when you are still, newly forming a relationship, you're going to doubt yourself even if someone doesn't tell you to doubt it. So of course she's also like having some kind of maybe validation and some maybe minuscule thought she could have. It's going to be like, oh my God. And so she's coming to me obviously distraught. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like my friend, she's distraught and sad. And what do I do to like help? Like, and then she confronts Devin.
What do I do? My friend is a smoldering ember. Let me toss some gasoline on her.
On her? I did not. She ran and told Devin, as she should have. She obviously immediately regretted telling him, but like, she's going to tell him. Like I would and I don't really remember exactly what happened, but he obviously was like, did you hear this? Did you hear this? And I was like, I heard it. So
okay. What'd you hear? No, but okay. And what did you hear? So then what was that conversation like? Because I wasn't there for it and they didn't play it with Devin.
I don't remember exactly, but I think it was just like, no, we were drinking, but I don't know. I mean, I don't really remember, but I think that I probably just was like, yeah, he said it. And then, he was already at this point, he already like, once Michelle said that one sentence, it was on, it was on. So like, I definitely
I'm just saying.
What I heard though also, Johnny, like I heard you say verbatim.
What? Yep.
I think you should be weary or something.
Yep.
Because I think Devin could be using you for game. That's all I'm saying, dude. Something like that.
Okay, but there was a 30-minute long conversation. That was one part of it. I wasn't there
for the whole 30-minute conversation. I came in I think the last bit.
No, you were there. I'm just saying.
That was not 30 minutes. That was not a 30-minute conversation.
20, 15. I mean, it was a long conversation. And it got emotional. And I actually, you know what? And I was actually happy the cameras weren't there, because I was like, I hope that by the cameras not being here, that what I'm telling you is not for game. It's for genuine concern from a friend to a friend. And it truly was. Now, did it morph into something more than that? Yes. Once then it was brought back to him. Once then he like openly declared war on me. Once then he forced people within his alliance to take sides and draw lines in the sand and basically said anyone that is working with Bananas or is friends with him is against me. Then it was like, all right, well, now let me pick this scab off, or let me rip these stitches open and open this wound up. And that's what I did.
I will say, and listen, if that's from your side, what you did and what you're doing makes absolute sense. I get it. But I also think there's two sides to every story that can be true and passionate for both people. Like Devin never once came up to me ever and said, I need you to be on my side or else you're to the streets. Like never.
He said it to everyone. You guys were all sitting there. And Michelle even said, they showed it in the clip, I believe, of the episode where Devin and Tori nominated themselves on the hanging container challenge. And he says in the beginning of the episode, and he goes, anyone that's fucking with the Banana Band is not fucking with me. And he basically said, and I don't have it exactly right. I had, because I talked about this on a prior episode.
After though, we already made the decision to be
go after me.
Yeah. So it's it was probably just he was saying it to people maybe Josh to hear or something. Okay.
But even Michelle, that's what I'm saying. What she said was, so wait, you're telling me that I need to now take ownership for some issue that you have with Bananas, even though it's not my issue, which is when he said, I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm telling you need to choose a side, which is telling you what to do. So my only point, this is the same point that I made to Tori, this is the same point I made to Michelle, is if you and I are friends, right? And if you and Devin are friends, and me and Devin get into it, then if you're friends with both of us, it's almost better to just be like, you know what, not it. I'm just going to sit this one out.
The only difference, though, is that Michelle is dating him and they're in a romantic relationship.
At the time, though. This was
if you're not going to have your man's back, she's obviously.
This was so early on, though, Olivia.
I know, but her goal, I think, was always to be together with him because she does have such strong feelings for him. So, you know, she's thinking more about the future, and she's like, okay, I know me and Devin will work out because like they have been amazing. And you have to agree to this day, they have an amazing relationship. And I think she already always saw that this was the end goal. And look at it.
So that was the problem. They wanted to see happily ever after. And I just wanted to see them burn and be unhappy in the game. That's where our wires got crossed, apparently. Duh.
Oh my God.
All right. Enough about us. You and Theo were talking about true love and romance, and I know we kind of started on this, and we're going to get back to it. Now, even though you said that, it took me a while to kind of like warm up to him, is it or is it not true that you had maybe a little twinkle in your eye even in the hotel before the game got started? Was there like kind of...
With Theo?
Yes, with Theo. Was it kind of like love at first sight? Like you see this tall, 6'6", somewhat well-hung, drink of water, walk in, and you're just like, yep, let me climb that tree.
Honest to God, I was coming this season to right some wrongs and focus on myself. And I really was not wanting to do anything with anyone. I saw him, yes. And I remember walking out. He came a day later, I believe, than everyone else. And I saw him and he looked at me and he basically said something along the lines of like, you're mine. Something like that. And I was like,
legendary move.
Slam the door.
Legendary move.
I mean, I guess he gets what he wants at the end of the day. Don't stay out of this. This is my turn.
Sorry. Seeming that I am here, we did have a romantic kiss in the hotel room after 2 or 3 days.
Why'd you punch? You scared me, punch you?
I thought you were going to poke me.
Yep.
So to answer the question...
I didn't think you could see out of this. How'd you see that, Theo? I didn't think you had a peripheral vision out of that eye.
I've won my case now, so you know what I mean. The eye is absolutely fine. So
Okay.
No, so I mean, I definitely saw him and I thought he was attractive, but I was like, no. But I think I was in denial, to be honest with you. And yes, we did share a kiss in the hotel room, but I did kick him out of my room and say, go away. And then I ignored him, I think, the first 2 weeks of the
6 days.
Season.
I'm sorry, Olivia's
6
like,
days.
I'm gonna do something I've never done before. I'm gonna kick a man out of my hotel room.
Oh my God, fuck you.
I know.
Imagine
how I felt. You know, I got some recommendations on Olivia and how she rolls. So imagine how I felt after 3 days, and you know, not getting a kiss again for 3 days after kissing. I thought I really lost my game after that.
No, you know what?
I nearly. If she said no for another day after 6 days, honestly, me and you bananas would have been absolutely riding this wave to the top. We would have got rid of Olivia at the beginning.
Yep.
So and
then we would have eliminated ourselves and then just fucking tore around Vietnam.
Yeah. The Holy Land. No, listen, it is what it is. So I'm happy.
Well, I will say this though. You know what? I think if anything, you kind of like slow walking it, slow playing it, and not kind of like giving in to, Theo's charmingness right out of the gate goes to show that maybe you saw that, hey, I want more than just some random, reality TV fling. Like I want to be his stepmom. Like, did you ever go through your head like I want to be his stepmom?
Yeah. I was kidding. No, fuck. No, I mean, listen, I have dated a lot of guys on reality TV, and I think I was just finally like, this is not what I want. So not only was I not looking for someone, I was like, I am never dating someone on any type of social media platform ever again, because I'm looking for something real. I'm like 32 now. I like have my shit going on for me. I'm cool. I'm just like, where's that person? And I didn't think it was going to be Theo, but here we are.
I said the same thing. I'm like, I am not ever going to meet or date anyone on any social media app.
Yeah.
Unless it's Hinge, OnlyFans, or
strip club.
Yep, or that. Or Raya.
Oh, I can't with you guys, honestly.
The red light districts.
Listen.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, don't get me started on that. You guys cannot be together in the same room. Shut your mouth.
The red light district. I've never heard of that app. Theo, what's that one all about? How does that work?
Yeah, Theo, why don't you tell the people?
It's an exclusive members club. I invite you.
Okay, cool. Where do I have to go to get in on this? Amsterdam?
I'll message you.
Okay, perfect.
But yeah, Amsterdam.
All right.
Oh my God.
So, okay. I mean, you guys obviously, you know, I'm actually happy about this. You know why? Because when you guys left, what's funny about both of you is, you know, sometimes it's like sometimes you see people and right away you're like, oh yeah, this is like totally compatible. The two of you, it was almost like you guys are so different and you're both so kind of like out there in your own ways that it's like this could either work and mesh some way or not. And one of my favorite sayings is you got to find someone, you know, they say opposites attract. You got to find someone that's like you. But my thing is you got to find someone who, we all have our demons. You got to find someone who your demons play well with their demons. And I think that's what makes the two of you work is you obviously both have, you know, we're all crazy living in this world and somehow it works because of that. Like your guys' demons play well together. Is that a good, like fair assessment?
I think that we're so different, like you said, but we are understanding of where we both come from just in life, but also with, you know, our reality show. We happen to be on the same season, which is nice because we actually like have seen each other go through. He's seen me cry. So I don't cry. I always say I don't cry that much. I cried so much this past year and he's been there for probably half of them, good and bad. So it strips you down to, I would say, almost like your most vulnerable moments.
Yep.
And it forces this person to just see it, even if you don't want them to. And it helped us get closer together, you know? And like I said, I've dated people in the past and I think everyone was doubting what was going to happen with us just because people know how I roll.
I'm one of them. I'm not going to lie. And it's not because I don't think you're both great people. It's just there were so many things working against you. Met on reality TV, live in two different countries. Okay. You know, we all know it's like, hey, we've all been there where, oh yeah, this works on the show. This makes sense now, but let's see how much different our lives and our worlds are after. So there was just a lot of factors working against you, but
I think we were the same as. Oh, sorry, should I come in the camera? I think we were the same though. I don't think any of us really held our breath. In terms of like, we were both kind of realistic. Like, you know, it's on the show. You know, we don't know how it's going to work on the outside. And you know, I think I've done in the past is just trying to take too many steps ahead, thinking and overthinking. But I think it's a case of sometimes you just take it day by day and see where it goes. Especially on coming off the show, and I believe that if she didn't get eliminated when she did, because I waited in Vietnam. Obviously, I was with Naya as well. We hung around for a bit. She didn't get eliminated then, and we didn't go to Bali, and she didn't come to London afterwards. God knows, we probably would have been right, and the odds would have been against us.
We honestly should be thanking you, Johnny.
Well, I will say this: if that didn't happen, Olivia would have a lot less dumb tattoos. That's for sure.
Bananas, you're just upset, all right? Two things. You're annoyed she didn't get bananas tattooed on the neck. And I'll tell you what, yeah?
Damn it.
Bananas, you missed a trick here. You missed a trick. These are some of the best perfect feet in the world. So really and truly, all right, you missed a trick. And that's why you're annoyed with Olivia, because she didn't become an angel.
Yo, those are some good old-fashioned Alaskan elk steaks right there, dude. Yeah.
Listen, that was a real one, babe. Okay.
That was a real one.
You know what, though? They don't show this either.
More feet.
I don't know if you remember this, but everyone was getting injuries left and right on the show. But I hurt my foot really bad. Remember my team dropped?
Prove it. Let me see. Where'd you hurt this thing?
Let me show you both. No, I really broke my foot or something. Theo massaged my feet every single day and sucked my toes sometimes. Where's that edit?
What a guy. Hey, where was Michelle calling him out for that? That's what I want to know.
What people don't realize, I'll do anything for my team. I was the captain of Era 4. So I couldn't afford to have someone injured on my team. So if I had to minister massages to whoever.
Suck a toe here and there, yeah.
There was only one person injured on the team, that was Olivia. That's why you didn't see her much in the era of parts, because she was injured. And then she just gets in good shape for the individuals, starts doing well, but gets eliminated. But
good shape is crazy.
It would have been good.
I mean, listen, Olivia, those toes weren't going to suck themselves.
They really weren't. And you know what? Everyone called me on the show as Walmart feet because I'd walk around the house barefoot. So I had the dirtiest fucking soles of my feet. And I'm like, what? Is this not normal? I'm like, I'm from
At least
Alaska.
you
We
didn't
always
walk
walk around barefoot. I'm like, this is the cleanest my foot has been in years.
You're from Alaska, dude. It's to toughen up your souls.
It is. Literally.
I do it, dude. I live across. I never wear shoes. I'm also an earther. I'm kind of like a hippie, so I like to walk around and
Me too. The energy.
absorb the earth through my feet, get rid of all my negativity. Must not have done that this season because I was full of it. All right, so let's get into this. Let's get into this episode.
Wait, one question for you. Sorry, then I'm gone again. One question, for you, Johnny. Before we leave this little part, if you had to pick the number one snake between Olivia and Laurel this season, who would you pick?
Oh, dude. Here's what I will say.
Don't put us in the same category.
It's not about putting you in the same category. Here's what I will say.
Because it's still a thing.
Here's what I will say. One disloyal, dishonest, fake friend is worse than 10 enemies. And if it's so much for me, I would rather have people listen, even though Olivia and I never like sat down, it's like, oh, are we working together? Are we not? I never really considered what happened with her like a betrayal because there was never any discussion between her and I about where we stood. It was just kind of more of an understanding, like you, Theo, were our common, was the common bridge between the two of us. Her and I, we've competed together in the past. I saved her from falling off of a fucking 50-story building on Ride or Dies at night. But fear actually saved us. But so that's why whenever what went down and, we ended up on different sides, I didn't consider it like a stab in the back or betrayal because the two of us, and if she gave me, I'm assuming you gave me a 1, which is fine. I
gave every guy 1 except for, I think, Kyland.
Because he needed it. No, I'm just saying. So that's why the thing with Laurel, and that's why that was such a mind fuck, is it's like, not only have you and I rode together season after season, we've always had each other's backs. We've done things that have put us in a corner together. World of Worlds 2, you were there for that when we basically tried to throw the challenge, screwed over pretty much our team to try and get rid of, either Cara or Pauly. Like we had, we did that together. Like we've done dirt in the past together. We came into this season the same way, right? Like riding for each other. And that's why I rode so hard for her, is because it's like, dude, regardless of how she behaves, it's almost like her and I are working together. So an attack on her is an attack on me, which is why I defended her so vigorously. So that's why when it came to this, which I felt like, listen, did it have a huge impact on my standing in the game or potentially in the final? Not really. For me, it was more of a symbolic gesture where it's like, damn, dude, after all that we've been through, after all that I've done for you, like that to me, that gesture just goes to show how little you give a fuck, dude. And that's kind of like what was so impactful.
And she didn't know how much of an effect it could have been overall anyway. But here's my last question. Sorry, I'll go again. I keep dipping in and out. Moving forward, do you think you'll work with Laura again?
Dude, listen, man, it's really difficult for me because trust for me takes so long to like earn, and it's so quick to break because of the amount of times that I have been burned on this show. And it's like, Olivia, it's fun. Like listening to you talk about your experience and how it's like, oh my God, it's so difficult and it's, and it's so stressful and there's so much anxiety and you're vulnerable and people take advantage of that. Dude, do that for 18 years. And it's like the amount of times that I've been opened up and stabbed. It's like, now I'm like, dude, I'm so guarded now that it's really difficult once trust is broken to like earn it back. I'm not saying I'll never work with her again. I'm not saying, I'm going to harbor ill will or resentment outside of the show. I don't. I don't take my work home with me. Not since the reunion. I wanted to try and have her come on the pod to like, obviously like hash it out, but she said her phone's lost in the ocean, so she can't do it. I think that was just a way to get out doing it. But
no. It actually like legit.
I know it really is
crazier.
I mean, the least she could have done after all the times I went to bat for her on this podcast, the amount of fucking heat and flack that I've taken from fans and cast members, the least she could have done was at least come on and, talked about it, but whatever, dude. No, I harbor no ill will. I don't, take my work home with me. It was just, dude, it was a, punch to the gut, dude. That's it. All right.
All right.
Thank you, though. Thank you, Theo. I mean, I think do you want the headphones? You can start. You can start doing the podcast now if you want.
That was a question from the fans.
Put a freaking nickel in.
Those are actually some good. Hey, those are actually some.
That's a question everyone wanted to know. I think
hard hitting.
I think it's just because Laurel, even though she's off the show now, she's a hot topic just because of everything being tweeted.
Let me ask you guys. I mean, you guys obviously were there and you saw kind of our relationship and everything. What was your take when
she rated you a 1?
Yeah.
I was not shocked, to be honest with you, because I was obviously on a little bit of the opposite side. I've seen her, how she has responded to certain people, how she's treated people that I am really close with. I've just seen that side of her before. And I guess for me, I wasn't surprised. But I was what is it like when you're not surprised but you're shocked? I was
disappointed.
I'm disappointed because I don't care, but it was
Sham
more
wild.
I was like, you are not doing yourself any favors. You're wanting to be better or grow, whatever she says she wants to do or be. It's just her actions aren't showing that at all. And trust me, if I was you, Johnny, and I had one person that I felt like I could tell everything to and felt so safe with, and they betrayed me like that with a 1, it's almost a slap in the face. Like, you didn't do shit for me. I don't owe you anything. It's like, wow.
Well, here's what I want to know. I want to know who because I'm pretty sure she gave Jordan a 5. And the annoying part about that is it's like, Laurel, I understand you have this unwavering, undying loyalty towards Jordan. I get it because of your relationship in the past, whatever, but he really didn't do a whole lot for you this season. In fact, he was one of the ones that was trying to jockey to have her and I thrown in when Jenny and Josh won the challenge. And it was basically one of the decisions was us to go in. Mm-hmm. Jordan was one of the ones being like, and whether or not this was him indirectly trying to take a shot at me or not, he was still trying to advocate for the two of us going in because we're a strong team. And I'm like, dude, the fact that he was actually at one point not having your back and trying to get you to be thrown in, whether or not you knew that was never something that I was going to do. Just goes to show that it's like, damn, dude, sometimes no matter what you do, you can't compete with, these bonds or these loyalties that are questionable.
I mean, I think Jordan's even shocked by. I think Jordan's shocked by.
I think most people are shocked, and I think Laurel at this point, especially this season, I think she definitely has the biggest case of being her own worst enemy, because it's like every turn she takes is, it maybe not in her eyes, but in the universe's eyes, it's just the wrong decision time and over again. And for you, it's like you done say 50 things right by her, you done one thing in her opinion that she didn't agree with, and to then turn on you like that, I was definitely shocked.
It wasn't even a real thing. I mean, it's so funny how this one conversation I had with Cara about coming on my podcast turned into what it turned into.
That was a cop-out, let's be honest.
Yeah, in her, like I said, in her eyes, like I said,
that's an excuse for her, I think.
50 things right, one thing she disagrees with, right or wrong, she knows it's true or not, or believes it or not. And I think everyone was shocked because everyone's been saying, so even like, well, a lot of people be saying a lot of bad things about her, even on the show, this, that, and the other. But I'm exactly the person in terms of like, until they do me wrong, then yeah, whatever. But when I seen that she gave it to you, I thought, no one's safe. I go, if Bananas isn't safe, no one ever to step on this show is safe from a slight change in opinion or disagreement from being your friend to not coming for you, but definitely not helping you in that sense. So that was a pretty hard one to navigate, I believe. And I just see it time and time again. I was like, I want her, because I had a conversation with her, because remember she really piped down in the last week. Me and her had a massive conversation at the pool for like 45 minutes. And after that, she really kind of simmered down, but if she doesn't have people to battle, then she kind of like runs out of things to do.
Yeah.
And she just kind of like withered away into the mist for the last week, and then she got eliminated on the mini final. So maybe it's her thing. Maybe you know, she's a very complex character.
I don't know. It was strange, but we're done talking about her.
Stranger things have happened, but I appreciate that, Theo.
Stop tagging me in.
Yeah. Thank you for the interview, Theo.
Yeah.
Next on the Death, Taxes, and Campbell podcast. All right.
Literally.
All right, let's get to the kind of the tone and the tenor in the house coming in after the last elimination. Against Theo and I.
Yeah.
Michelle took exception to the fact that Michelle took exception to the fact that Josh was kind of staying neutral and cheering for both of us. And it seems like even though this is the first time that she has kind of confronted him directly and he kind of got upset about it, it seems like there's been something kind of like brewing or simmering under the surface for a while. Dating back to when when Casey got thrown in, when Corey got thrown in, which somehow was Josh's fault. So did you see this blow up between Michelle and Josh as something that was that has been simmering for a while, and this was just kind of like the tipping point?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to like even just like Era 4 and our team. And Josh is a really good guy. Like he really does care about people and he's so sweet. And I think that we see him, I see him, and I think she sees him as this person that like shouldn't be in fear of things. And some of the time, if not more than not, he kind of sometimes shies away from that leader role. And so even from like Era 4, like he wasn't stepping up when he said he was going to. Be back down, I think like almost twice. The first time he did, and then he almost said the second time when he was going to be a target, he was like, I'm not going to do it. Never mind, I'll just do it. So we've kind of seen him like be a little bit like, are you for us or are you not for us? Because we're doing it. We don't want to either. Trust me, we don't want to either, but we're doing it because we made this agreement.
We don't want to what?
Just to all volunteer at least once in rotation.
Okay, so this is going back to the volunteering situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is my viewpoint on it. I'm not sure if she'll,
No, this is your episode. Doesn't matter if she signs off or not. This is your perspective.
But I think that made us all kind of a little bit like rolling our eyes, I am a professional eye roller, as we all know.
You are a very good eye roller.
And I think seeing the Casey thing go down, listen, where Josh was at, he was sweet. He was playing the perfect game. Like he really had all his friends. They were all genuine friends. So I get why he was struggling. But as someone on the other side, I understand Michelle's frustration. It's like, dude, like it's Era 4 first. And yes, we're playing individual games now. Just be honest and be like, instead of being like, I have your back, just be like, look, I'm going over here now because it's better for my game. And I think that's all she wanted was some kind of like, just some kind of, I see you on where she's coming from. Like she was like, listen, you're playing every single angle, which she was. Not saying there's anything necessarily wrong with that for him, but it definitely was a problem for her and people that were attached to her, And I wasn't that close with Josh going into this game. I think that when you're watching the show, you don't realize connections. People have friendships outside the show. Josh and Michelle had a stronger bond than I even knew. I didn't know they were this close of friends, to be honest with you, even. So I didn't know how much that was going to like hurt her when he was not standing up for certain things. Whereas to me, I just met him and I got close with him. We're friends. But if he did something to me, I'd be like, anyways, So, I think him not having Casey's back in the way that we thought he should definitely made us kind of be like, okay, if you're not going to have your best friends back, what are you going to do for us? Not us, because I wasn't really on. Josh was throwing. Was that putting an unreasonable amount of pressure or expectation on Josh's shoulder for thinking that he and he alone was going to be able to determine what Rachel's decision and then what Theo's decision to throw in Corey was going to be? Or was it almost like, listen, man, we're pissed off that you're kind of in this position. So what we're going to do is we're mad at you for playing both sides. But instead of telling you that, we're going to make it out as if we're mad at you because the game is going a direction we don't want it to go. We need someone to blame. You're the fall guy. Listen, I think everything is true in that. I think that there is a little bit of a jealousy there of like, you're lucky you get to chill in this game and I'm fucking struggling over here. I think there truly is genuine hurt by why would you not have my back more? I think there was confusion on how much pull he really had. And then just watching the episode back even and seeing like when Rachel's telling him what she's going to do, him being like, I hear you, you know, that it does make it kind of confusing when Casey's your sister, your best friend. And I know that if Theo told me like, I'm going to throw Michelle in, I'd be like, the fuck you are, you know?
Yeah.
But that's the way he wanted to play it. And I don't fault him for that. I really think that even Michelle and him have talked since then. I think Michelle has admitted like, hey, sorry, bro. Like, I didn't mean to like put so much stress on you, and they're good now and they've squashed it. But yeah, I think Josh is just in a great position, but also a bad position, you know, like.
They got in the argument, obviously, in the kitchen that kind of, stemmed from this.
Okay, but that argument in the kitchen, I don't blame her, because not only was like, yes, I understand him rooting for both people. I 100% do. But there also is courtesy for different angles. Like, obviously cheer people on, but you have to understand you're standing next to someone who's about to be a target, who has been target time and time and time again. You know that Josh would not want to be a target ever. He would be squirming too. And I think that Michelle and Josh, to be honest, are a little bit more similar than I realized.
Different sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Because this goes back to what you were, okay. You weren't on the CBS season, right?
No.
When I tell you Josh and Michelle played almost the exact same game the entire time, which was they were friends with fucking everybody. Michelle, because of her relationship with me, because we were on the red team in the beginning, she was able to have a relationship with me and the MTV people. But then because she had the CBS Survivor contingency and Survivor ran that show, she was able to toe that line literally the entire fucking game. And that's what kind of got her in trouble in the end, was the fact that she had so many friends and she was working with so many people. She did a masterful job at it. Like, don't get me wrong, Michelle, when it comes to a social game and when it comes to just being able to thread that needle, she's one of the best to ever do it. But again, it's like, yo, isn't this kind of like the pot calling the kettle black? Because Josh is just doing the same thing.
Yeah,
I mean, get it, and I understand why someone from an outside perspective, like a Kylan, because Kylan called him out. He goes, Josh, I think the problem is, and I thought this was an interesting distinction, you need to make a different, you need to draw a distinction between friends and allies, right?
Yeah.
But the only people that say that are the people who don't have a ton of friends in the game. Because if you have a lot of friends in the game, your friends are your allies. So it's impossible to distinguish between the two.
This is something I didn't even realize, like, because I was truly in La La Land. When I tell you, I was kind of just like here, like I was just doing my own thing. It wasn't until like later in the game where I was like, damn, like I'm fucked. If I don't fight the rest of this game, I'm going to be out, because it is a guys playing for the girls and a girls playing for the guys. I'm not friends, like really, really close friends with a lot of guys. I'm more friends with like the girls. So I was like, and also I'm not considered one of the strong players, and that's fine because everyone this season was a fucking beast.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no one's going to pick me up. So I was like, shit, a little too late. But so there is, I think that because Josh started to see that the stronger girls that were winning dailies, which was a huge importance, were on the Rachel side, I think he was like, you know what? I'm just going to go over here. So I think he was just waiting for like what was going to suit him better, which is so fair. It really is. That's just, I mean, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Obviously in the moment in the game, we're like, fuck you. But now like looking back, I'm like,
you know what I compare it to? Have you ever been in like a situation like you're at the airport going through customs, or you're at the grocery store and there's two lines and you're like, I don't want to commit to one line or the other because I want to see which one starts to go faster. Yeah. And then once you see which one, you're like, all right, this is the line I'm picking. Yeah. I feel like that's the position Josh was in. He's like, I got two lines. Yeah. Let me see which one is going to get me to the checkout faster. And then that's the one I'm going to decide on, but I'm going to do it at the last minute.
Yes. Best analogy ever. And there's nothing wrong with that because it's working, you know, but I think that feelings were hurt along the way. And I think those also were fair. And I think that Michelle also, after she has her little blow up, she kind of is just like, did I do that? You know, like we all have our moments. So
now let me ask you this. How is Josh's game then playing the way that he is any different from say Derek, Jordan, or Corey's? Because it seems like now Corey just didn't have the same relationships that Josh did, but he was desperately trying. I mean, he went from being like, Michelle's my number one to now she didn't vote for me. So now Corey, you're my number one. Derek, like I said in this episode, probably the best social game I've ever seen. I mean, this guy like had this ability, and this is what I told him. I was like, Derek, I was waiting this season for you at some point, because of me beefing with the other side to then you take a stand or you put your neck out there. And I'm like, all right, well, you're on the radar too. You never did that. And I was like, so I couldn't have any, beef against you because you were able to be on our side, be on our team, hang out with our, me and the Angels, and you're kind of just like there, a wallflower. But then you're, obviously on the other side, kikiing with Olivia and Michelle the entire time. And he was able to really, again, play both sides masterfully and never really find himself in the firing line, including the fact that it's like, even when Michelle won, she put Corey up for elimination, who she's known a lot longer, who she supposedly had as her number one in over Derek.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't really understand the way Corey plays the game. I honestly couldn't even tell you who he was working with.
Lay around, look handsome, be in bed all day.
Yeah, I don't really know. Derek, the thing about Derek, he played an insane game, and it's genuine too, truly. He was friends with everyone, but I also think that he wasn't friends with everyone to the point of sticking with one person or having a favorite friend or anything like that. He made his rounds evenly. He didn't need to feel like he needed to be a spokesperson for anyone or be a leader. Whereas Josh would walk around the house, and I feel like he had a presence more about him that he wanted to be like, hey, you good? Like, hey, Liv, like, what's up? Are you good? Or like, he checked on people. He made himself heard more. So I think that's the reason people were looking at Josh a little bit more sideways.
Just don't burn the guy's tortillas and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, and Derek was cooking for everyone. So
give him a spatula. I mean, hey, the quickest
and also, Derek is a really good competitor, he is underestimated. I'm thinking
he is sneaky good.
Good. I always knew this. We train in Arizona together, and
I didn't. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from?
So I also think that I was like, he knew that me and him were like this. Like, I knew that if he won, I was always going to be safe, literally no matter what. So I was like, we're always good. We don't have to hang out that much. Go hang out with other people just so you can, just be good with everyone. So, and he did it. And like I said, it was genuine, and he's fun, and he has a fun time, makes the house a little lighter.
Yeah, he definitely does. Pendulina.
Yeah, the twerking.
The world is about to be introduced to Pendulina. All right, the challenge, lot happened here, but not a whole lot. I mean, Jordan says he doesn't want to win because he don't want to show his cards, but then he wins and says the win is important. I think the only that saved his ass in this was Cara winning. Cara winning that challenge made it so Jordan didn't have to make any decision or show his cards. He just, once again, I mean,
Cara winning and Michelle losing because there was no decision needing to be made. God, I know this was a rough challenge because I do feel like having relationships in the house distracts me for sure. I think that once Theo left, I was so much more clocked in, and I literally finished a puzzle after Cara by 15 seconds. And I was so excited. I was like, yay! And then I was like, fuck, Cara's off the table. That means it's me. And I was trying to help Michelle, but of course, I'm also hot. It's hot out there. I'm like, Michelle, blue, and I don't even know what I'm saying, trying to help her. And they're like, Olivia, no helping, pushing me away off the out of the way. And then I'm like, okay, if Michelle just doesn't lose, but Michelle would never lose, right? She's like a puzzle queen. And then she loses, and I'm like, dude, what?
Well, I helped Aviv on my way out. I basically told Aviv because Aviv. That's why Aviv won. I'm not going to take full credit for it because but on my way out, she had because there was a certain way you had to stack the 2s and the 3s and the 4s, and she had 2 pieces swapped, and I was just swap those 2, and I just kept walking. I got yelled at, obviously, and then she nailed it. But I know,
and it sucks because Derek was right next to Michelle, literally right next to him, and he was the second to last guy to finish.
Kicked his puzzle over. What a dick!
He should have just left it up.
Yeah.
What? But it was a mistake. Obviously, in the moment, you don't think about that. But it sucks. I'm like, damn, not me getting second for girls when I actually needed
kick them out of the ladies of leisure. Also, Cara said this right after. She goes, I have this puzzle at home. She goes, I literally have this pyramid ball puzzle at home. So, I mean,
then how come she didn't get it in 3 seconds? We were there for a minute solving that.
Maybe the balls are smaller. I don't know. They didn't show. They didn't, because here's the other thing. I get it. They kind of built it up a little bit where, it was obvious because Cara won, you two were going in. And I kind of woohooed at the end. But what they didn't show was like, I was actually being a really big dick when TJ was doing the wrap up, and there was a whole blow
you and
up
Michelle got into a huge fight.
Yeah, I think Tori even chimed in a little bit. I was kind of shocked they didn't show that.
I am too. And it was actually, this is the thing about me. When I actually get like super pissed off, I become mute and I literally just like have dead eyes and I'm like, Michelle, she starts teeing off. She has stuff to say,
Yes.
So of course, like, and you're like gloating as like, honestly, rightfully so. You're like, look, listen, happy to save your life. Obviously on the other end, we're like, fuck off. But Michelle sees you smile and ooh, did she get pissed? And then of course, Tori is like, she's like, I have these girls. Did I put them in this position? Tori feels some probably type of guilt /
Yes, the answer is yes.
She wants to kill you. So she's like, don't talk to my girls either. And then it just becomes this thing. And I'm just like, Michelle, keep it cool, girl. We are going to be fine. I'm like over here crying behind the scenes, like literally crying. So it was just the whole thing. I'm surprised they didn't show that though.
At this point though, I knew, like, what am I going to... I can't save myself. The only thing I can do now is just continue talking shit because I'm going in regardless. Yeah. I knew that regardless of you, Cara, the only way that I wasn't going in at this point is if one of the girls I was working with went in and won, and then I was going to be safe. Other than that, going in every time. So why not, stir up as much shit as I can. You know what?
This format's so strange like that because, like, obviously you want the best girls to win, just because they're all running the game, but actually, you kind of want to be best friends with the girls that are not that great that keep getting voted in. Because like Derek, that's why Derek was so sitting pretty, because every single time it was his girls that were going in to select targets.
The more I was going in, that's the thing. It was almost like by Tori targeting me, she was in a roundabout way targeting you guys.
I don't think that's the case.
It is. It is because every time I went in, who was I going to protect? If she would have sent in, I don't know, a Corey or someone else, or Michelle would have sent someone else, then guess what? There's a chance that then that person isn't going to target you guys. You send me in, I'm going to keep targeting the same people. So by me going in, if I win, you know who I'm coming back for.
Yeah. I mean, there were so many layers to it, to be honest. And
a lot of layers. I mean, like an onion.
Yeah.
I've got an ass like an onion. I don't know if you know that.
Do you?
Makes people want to cry.
Theo does too, honestly.
All right, the bus. Let's talk about footgate real quick.
Footgate.
Footgate. Jesus Christ. Let's just set the table here, people. All right. When you are in a challenge house and you're in for the amount of time that we are, and you are completely devoid, unless you're in a relationship you are, of any sort of physical human contact, it comes out. People lay there, they'll lay on each other and do crosswords. We saw earlier, Emily giving massages. There's just like human contact that takes place, right? Now, the clip that they showed on the bus, which was supposed to be like this hidden camera video of me and Aviv touching feet, that was actually after the fact. After this whole blow up happened, as a joke, her and I, to kind of razz Michelle a little bit, kept doing that with our feet. That's what they showed. What actually happened was we were sitting there, I was doing a crossword, she was doing whatever. Our feet literally touched for a second. And then Michelle, because she was so angry with me about the position she was in.
Rightfully
so, took that then as her launch pad. That was her end. That's like, all right, this is what I am going to harp on. This is what I'm going to target as a way to, get at me. And my point was like, yo, I got nothing to lose here, okay? You can come at me all you want. The problem is if you try and spin this into something it's not, right? Like there's some nefarious acts going on here. Aviv's married and she has kids. Like the only person that is going to be hurt or affected by this is her. You're not going to affect me. So I kind of thought it was a little bit lowbrow, a little bit below the belt, a little bit out of line to basically insinuate that something was taking place in order to try and stir shit up. But the only person that was going to catch a stray was Aviv.
I mean, yes, I think this was they should have showed maybe a little bit more of the pre-bus, just getting on me, Michelle crying, her being I'm so sorry this happened because of me. And this is the game, right? It's our entire life at this point, right? It's just what we're doing it's very serious in the moment. Now looking back, I'm dying. It's hilarious. I'm like, what the fuck? But in the moment, it's literally life or death. So we're crying. We're like, I can't believe this is happening. Like at that point, even though we haven't lost an elimination, we lost. We've already lost because we're losing one of each other. Home. And of course, you want to sit in the back with us. And so we're like, God, you're fucking sitting back here with us, like, you know. And Aviv is very sweet. And she's trying to be like, girls, like, you know, everything's gonna be fine. And at this point, we're like, shut the fuck up, Aviv. Like, I don't want to hear it from you either. You're one of Johnny's angels, you know? And so I think that it was just a lot of things. I really don't think Michelle was trying to ruin her life at all. Actually, I know she wasn't. She was just.
I don't think she was trying to ruin her life. I'm not saying that. And okay. I think what it was is this was her way of. Again, it's almost like when you're backed into a corner and when you feel like, you know, there's this other person. And listen, I don't know if you know this or not, but I have a tendency to get under people's skin sometimes.
Really?
It may come as a shock to you. Trust me, I get it. If I was on the other side, I would be like, and again, I sat in the back. I was obviously trying to do everything that I could to apply this maximum amount of psychological pressure.
This is the best day. Oh, wow, look at the sun. It's shining extra bright right now. I was like, shut the fuck up, bro. God. And so, of course, we're seeing, like, you guys, like, just, you know, doing crosswords and just, like, having the best time. And we're like, honestly, jump out of this bus right now. Get out. And Aviv just was caught in the crossfire of it. And, you know.
My point is, if it was any other circumstance, like, I just love it when things happen in the house all the time that are way more like, I don't know, questionable, but there's only certain times people choose to weaponize certain interactions between people. And that was the case this time. Like,
well, it was, you know what it was? It's because Aviv had a foot injury and it was pretty bad. And so she was like going to the chiropractor or something, or I don't know. People were massaging her foot for her because you can't massage your own foot. Yeah, you can't massage your own foot this way. So people were massaging her foot because I didn't realize it was actually like really bad.
Torn. And, still bad. She's still going to therapy.
Yeah. So I think like throughout the couple of weeks in the house, just seeing her constantly get foot rubs by like, you know, even Derek, the girls, you, everyone, just to help her foot. It was just kind of like a running joke about you having foot fetish. So I think it was just like at that point, it was like, this is my time to fire. Well, okay, yeah.
Who's joking?
I'm not coming for your brand. Don't worry.
Who's joking? I got a 5. I got a 5 on Celeb Feet Finder. So.
Oh my God, is that a thing? Honestly, we should honestly be thanking Michelle. You guys should be putting your OnlyFans up with your feet pictures. You guys.
I didn't know it was a thing until last night. Somebody sent it to me. They're like, "Dude, you got a 5 on." And I didn't realize it. Almost every picture I post on Instagram that has my foot in it is on there. Celeb Feet Finder.
I have to see this.
Wild. Yeah, you're probably on there.
I'm scared.
Is Cara's on there?
No. Hers are on. Have you ever seen the show Faces of Death?
Oh my God.
Have you ever seen The Nun?
Oh my God, you guys.
Hers are
I've never seen Cara's feet. Are they bad? Like, she was next to me, but I don't really look at feet. So I'm just like.
Come again? Are they
I've never seen her feet, Cara's feet. Like, I've obviously been around her, but I'm not staring at them. So, like,
picture, like, if you took like a gargoyle, you know, those creatures that sleep upside down. And if you took a gargoyle and put its foot in a tree chipper, pretty accurate.
Have you seen Freddy Krueger?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys.
Imagine your foot and putting Freddy Krueger.
Listen, she's probably making mad
Have
money.
you seen RoboCop when the guy gets the vat of toxic waste dumped on his face? Yeah, that's kind of like.
Do you know who Rocky Dennis is?
Maybe I'll have to just bring a manicure kit if we ever do a season together and be like, Cara, give me your toes, baby. Let me help you out.
Have you ever seen the guy from the movie The Goonies with the weird face and their stuff? Yeah, imagine that in foot version.
He actually thinks this is hilarious too. That's the thing. That's the thing about you guys. You just love it. You think it's so funny.
Look up Rocky Dennis and imagine that as a foot.
Well, hey, listen, she might have bad feet, but she got a banging body. She's killing it. She looks great.
I've never seen her feet. I'm only joking, Cara.
Yeah, no, I am too.
Her feet.
I am too, Cara. You know who Paul Bunyan is? He lives on Cara's foot. All right.
Imagine Paulie's interview top as a foot.
Oh my God. Not the interview top. Oh my God, not Jordan coming for my interview top too. I was like, God.
Jordan came for your interview top? Most people don't know this. We had to wear the same interview outfit the entire season.
Yeah. No, I know. I borrowed it from Jenny, and Jenny is buff, but she's smaller than me. So I'm wearing it. It barely fits. I'm like bleeding out on the sides, like just like chub, and then like my boobs look like pectorals. Like I'm like,
Theo rated Hugh Hefner's closet before he went on.
Yeah, literally. I was like, where'd you get this outfit? He's like, I think I got it from Love Island.
I stole that from Love. I was supposed to go on Love Island for the challenge. I stole it from there.
Ooh,
after they didn't let me come on.
Hugh Hefner's closet is.
All right. Obviously, listen, none of us want to be in this position, and I took sick satisfaction from the outside just because it was beneficial to my game seeing you and Michelle going against each other. But been there in the past. I went in against Leroy, which sucked. I've been against Theo twice, which also sucks because I love this guy to death. It's one of the worst things that can happen in the game is going in against one of your best friends, other than of course injuries. But it's something that like we all have to deal with season after season. Now, not trying to draw like false equivalencies, but isn't this kind of similar to what happened in 39 where you guys kept sending in Kylan against Horacio last season? Like, isn't there, like, you guys get it. You've been there too. You've done it. We've all done it. We've been on both sides.
We never sent Kylan in against Horacio until the last, like, it was only one, or no, it was twice.
That whole thing, sending them in against each other. The Maurice, Kylan, Horacio.
Yeah, the difference is, I would say, is that, like, 39, I think I would still consider us like sophomores in high school, right? Like we were still getting to know everyone, figuring everything out. And
you're still sowing your oats.
Yeah. I think 39, there was more connections and more friendships. And this season, it was honestly, it felt like it was just me and Michelle by ourselves in a little cave in our room. So it did feel like us against the world. And I think 39, we had more connections, more friendships. Is it the same? Sure. We can call it the same. No,
I don't want to say it's the same because there are no two situations are ever the same. Yeah. What I'm saying is you understand though, you see both sides where it's like, yes, this sucks, but it sucks a lot worse when you're on the receiving end other than the giving end.
I also do think that looking at it now, looking back at 39 now, watching Horacio, Nerys, and Kylan all go against each other sucks a lot. At the time, Kylan and Horacio weren't that close.
Yeah.
And Nerys and Horacio weren't even dating yet. I'm not saying that I'm not saying it didn't suck. It was fucked up. But I'm just saying, like, obviously looking back now, it's like, holy shit, that's really fucked. 3 best friends. But they were still, I think, that's what made them bond even more together. Do you know what I mean?
The old trauma bond.
It was a trauma bond for real. But whereas this season, me and Michelle were already like besties. So it was almost like, this is actually shit. And I do feel like if people are saying, I'm seeing on Twitter, people are saying that this is like poetic justice or like this is revenge for everything you've done. And it's like, listen, on 39, when me and Nerys went against each other in elimination, she already got her justice right there. She beat me. Okay. And then on 40, she wanted to go against me again. Rightfully so. I mean, our Air 4 was stacked. And
careful what you wish for. Everyone's got a plan until they get a shoulder pad in the mouth.
Oh my God, that was so fucked though, wasn't it? Like that's, and so I don't think there's any revenge. I think we've done it. I think we've like buried every possible crumb. And me having Kylan's back this season also, like I think that was also getting me. By the way, me and Kylan were not close on 39 at all. So for people to be like, you fucked him over, I'm like, we weren't friends, bro. Like how, just because he's attached to Horacio and Nerys, we were cool and we were friends outside the game, but we weren't working together, you know? I was stuck in the J hypnotized spell, unfortunately.
I don't know how that happened. Was it because it was his hairline? Was that what hypnotized you?
It must have been. I do love a good receding hairline. No, listen, if I have one regret ever, it is if I could go back in time, the most iconic move I could have ever done. And I love Michelle, but I also, because me and Michelle had a different relationship as me and Nerys, and I've discredited me and Nerys' friendship before, and I don't want to do that because we did have a friendship. But me and Michelle, during this game, you know how it is. You can be friends with someone on the outside. When you play a game with them in a season, you can get really close to one person more than someone else because you're like, holy shit, you actually are listening to my problems, hearing me cry, having my back, having fun with me, laughing. And me and Michelle got really, really close. And so I felt like it was more of a betrayal to Michelle, who's trying to ride for me. When I did talk to Nerys on 39, I said, we have to do this if we want to be safe. She's like, no. And you know how she is. She's stubborn, as she should be. She's like, no, I'm not doing that. I was like, so you're not willing to fight for us at all. So that's why so that's why I was like, you're not willing to try to save us at all. You want just to, we're going down, we're fucked. And that's how I saw it at the time. And so that's why I did what I did. But I do regret it because if I could, I know Michelle would have forgiven me and it would have been the most iconic thing if I just, saved Nerys. And
But you know what? Yeah, you live and learn. All right.
You live and you learn. And guess what? Nothing can hurt me now.
Exactly.
Ever.
And you know
I'm
what?
good.
You wouldn't have had this awesome snake moniker if you would have made that decision. Okay.
I'm going to get a snake tattoo right on this side now.
You should. Listen, next to the other snake tattoo you got on the other side.
Yeah.
Listen.
I think Olivia is done with being a snake, backstabbing her friends, and having very bad choices in the guys she selects. So
you
I think this has been a great year for you, Olivia.
So this was the last time she's making all these bad decisions, right? In the friends she selects and in the guys. This is her last bad decision she gets to make, is what you're saying.
I hope so for her. Otherwise, she's doomed.
You're the last bad decision. As Marilyn Monroe said, well-behaved women seldom make history. All right. There's a reason you've been back, Olivia, and it's not because, it's not because you play a clean game. We love sloppiness. I want to run through a few fan questions real quick. These could just be quick little rapid fire situations. Adam Newell, but ATOM, like a Adam, wants to know, were you as freaked out as I was when Tori revealed her long toe?
No, I wasn't, because I actually knew about her long toe. Because our little girl days, we'd have little pedicure parties and we'd be cutting our cuticles on the carpet.
You're like, is that E.T.'s hand?
Is it that long?
Tori, what are you doing with E.T.'s hand attached to the end of your leg?
She does have a little bit, she definitely has a longer second toe. I think she takes pride in it. I think her boyfriend loves it. So
I think it means you're smart or something. All right.
It does.
Nathan wants to know, what's it like being the third wheel on mine and Theo's relationship?
You know what? It's not a bad place to be, I guess. I'm surrounded by strong men. And I do believe truly that if something happened in the streets, that you guys would both have my back.
100%.
I definitely, even as strong as we are, I do believe we're funnier than we are strong.
I think so too. But you know what, Theo? I will say this. If you can get somebody like if you can mentally outmaneuver someone or make fun of them in a tense situation, that will stick with them longer than an ass whooping any day of the week. If you can embarrass
100%.
Somebody, an embarrassment is worse than an ass kicking, dude. So that's where the sense of humor comes in.
It's easy to get, anyone can get strong. Not anyone can have a good sense of humor and have an intelligent sense of humor, and that's a fact.
You have to be intelligent to have a sense of humor.
The way I put up with this man is crazy.
Bananas, do you know how hard it is to roast someone without actually insulting them? It's a very hard skill.
See, I don't have that. I literally don't have that skill. I'm like an all or nothing. I'm usually just like mouth shut, stare, or it's like annihilation. So I'm like, Olivia, just relax, because I don't have the cute little charisma you guys have that you can be like,
if you can make fun of somebody without them knowing you're making fun of them, that's the golden ticket.
I didn't have no one to go against to actually offend this season because everyone's being so nice after Paulie left. But Bananas carried the show with his witty offenses.
I was just doing it for you once you left. I was doing it in your honor. Now that you and Theo are obviously still together, Dr. Kareem M wants to know, would you consider moving to the UK?
Would I consider it? Yeah. Maybe, yes, for a short while, like months.
So you'll be like bi-coast. So you'll do like the back and forth
but
thing.
No, I'm actually thinking of moving either to Nashville or Florida because I want to be by a beach or I want to be in the sun, and it's closer to London. His one-way flight would be like 5.5, 6 hours instead of 11. So
I'm looking to get out of London anyway.
He's gonna move to me. Okay, that's the plan.
Arizona.
So to be closer to you, Bananas, as well.
No. I want to move. So I think we're gonna both move together, either to Florida or to
come to
Nashville.
Florida. Dude. Nashville's played out, man. Come to Florida. There's so much more fun shit going on here.
Yeah.
Nashville, you've got one part. It's like, one city. That's cool. Florida, the whole state's fucking, well, not the whole state, but there's a lot more parts of the state that are awesome. I know.
I'm just a little nervous for the hurricane situation, but maybe I'll get some tips from some. Really?
Don't be. Okay. It's all good. Just don't. Yeah, you'll be fine.
So that's our plan right now. We might move together to a new state.
For all my people who live in Florida, if I do move to Florida, I'm going to build my house out of what we build our houses here in England out of bricks instead of like wood and foam, because then it won't get blown over so easy.
Go away, babe. He saw this TikTok and it was like this house being made out of foam, and I'm like, okay. Anyways,
no, it's like a 3D printed house. No, all the homes now are made out of concrete blocks.
Here, I have a question for you. How about that?
Yes.
Any regrets from the season?
Any regrets from
so far?
Oh man, any regrets from this season? Not really, to be quite honest. I mean, I can't. Oh yes, here's the one regret that I have: not throwing in Jordan when we had the opportunity to. I mean, as much as you know, it would have been a difficult fight to get him
you and
in.
Michelle could have been more aligned. You guys both.
I know. Because what ended up happening was I relied on us. I didn't realize the amount, the power that the alliance that he was in with the Tory, Devin, Era 3, Era 4 situation. Because in the past, him and I, we've never necessarily been in an alliance, like had an understanding, but it was always this mutual respect where I'm not going to say your name, you're not going to say mine.
Yeah.
Because the problem is that was the one opportunity that I potentially had, and it would have been him against Horacio, which he very easily could have lost, to get rid of him. Now, Horacio still would have been there, which would have been a problem, but I think Horacio was already checked out. And then it got to the point where we are now, where I was literally looking at this and I'm like, I got to get rid of Jordan. Now, Kylan's a problem too, but the only way to get rid of Jordan is if I go in against him, and it was impossible to set that up because that would require the girls I was working with to say his name, which wouldn't. So yes, not throwing in Jordan, huge regret. But again, you know,
that's what
you live and you learn.
And the funny thing is, like, we people come together, Bananas and I, most of the guys in a way, where everyone's like, you know, they're having their drinks and that, and everyone kind of has that silence, like, so.
Well, it's like, who's going to take him down?
Everyone's like, who's going to be the first to say it? Like, so how are we getting Jordan out of this game then? Like, it's on everyone's mind, but it was really hard to come up with a plan to do it because it wasn't like direct shots. And like you said, with the girls involved, it was. From the outside point of view, it's like people like, why'd you let Jordan get to the final? And it's like, in the reality, it was like,
it's not about letting. It's so difficult to find. Exactly. And again, had that opportunity presented itself later on in the game, it was just so early on. It was just way too early to make a move, you know, that big. I mean, again, looking back, wish it would happen, especially just given the fact, you know, the way that things went down with Laurel and I and Jordan and I. But again, that's why things like this happen on the season. You know that you're going to get another shot. There's going to be future seasons. So you and Michelle going in, I mean, honestly, Olivia, like she went in scatterbrained as fuck, which again was by design. It's kind of like the same thing I tried to do to Tina. I'm like, I'm going to get you as frazzled as you can going in. That way you're can't concentrate, but B, so focused on winning so you come back and screw me that your attention's gone. And it worked up until we got to the word puzzle. So we didn't know that you were dyslexic until this happened. I mean, a bit blind with questionable taste in men, yes. But dyslexic, didn't know. What happened? Tell us what went down with this word puzzle.
So, I mean, I'm not actually dyslexic, but like, the thing is that when we were walking into it, we did a little walk onto stage, and I saw the ladder. I was like, oh, no problem. I can do that. I know it. I know I can do that. I saw the words, and I was like, not only am I just like, I know myself, under pressure, my brain's not going to work the same way if I'm thinking logically about something for spelling. It just doesn't work. Like, even like, I remember Ride or Dies. We had a spelling, trivia, and I got a word. I forget what it was, and I literally knew how to spell it, but I was just like rushed to say it. So I was like, da, da, da. So it's just never words in me. No. And I saw the letters and I was like, oh fuck. Like,
there's a lot of letters.
There was a lot. I didn't want to give myself an immediate loss. So I didn't want to say I'm not going to win this, but I kind of knew. I was like, damn, like if I went against anyone else in the house, maybe I'd have a little bit more of a chance, but Michelle is very smart, and she does crosswords
The
in her spare
crossword
time.
queen. It really.
And this isn't a crossword, so I'm not going to say that I'm not going to say that.
It's the same as a crossword.
It's in the same realm because what you're doing,
in the same realm.
Whether it's crosswords, whether it's even Sudoku, whether it's Scrabble, what you're doing is you are using, whether it's numbers, letters, shapes, you're using them as a way to like create a pattern.
It's a different part of your brain than I ever use. And so,
sorry.
It's a different part of my brain than I ever use. So I was like, okay, I either have to get a huge head start on this so I can at least see it for a second before. But also what they don't show is that we had 3 letters as a clue. We had one letter on the or 2 letters on the first one and one. And I moved them. They weren't stapled down. So I was like, I now have 3 extra letters to figure out where they go. I, at that point, knew I was going to lose. You see me looking back.
We saw that. I saw it happen right when you did that. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And
like, those were there to help you guys out. And then I look at your board and they're gone. I'm like, all right, she's fucked.
Yeah. But I thought they were nailed down, like screwed down. Why would they not be, you know? But yeah, I mean, if it was like the old school, like climb a ladder, hit a bell, I obviously would have won that. But listen, it just shows that like every skill on the challenge can be useful. And Michelle and Derek having their daily crosswords by the pool paid off, and she earned it. You know, she really did. And I wasn't mad because there was truly nothing I could have done. If it was something that was so close that I was good at, I would have felt more sour about it. Not because it was, or me against anyone, not just Michelle. I would have been like, fuck, I could have had that and maybe had some regrets of what I could have done better. There was nothing I could have done. And you see me looking back, and it's not to like see if she had letters down to cheat or anything. It was literally just because I was like, I have nothing. How far are you almost done so I can stop scrambling these dumbass letters, you know? And I wasn't quitting by any means. Like you saw me. I was still, babe.
I'm but in the back of your head, you knew. And we had just seen Theo and Naya. They're still in Vietnam.
Yes, okay.
In the back of your head, you're like, you know what? Yeah, if I win, I come back. But if I lose...
Do you think yours and Michelle's elimination was more rigged than mine and Bananas?
No, none of them are rigged. Get out of here. God.
100%. 100%.
I think that this was the worst time to go into an elimination. I think that, did I know that Naya and Theo, I didn't. No. I did know they were still there
because we saw them at the bar.
At the bar, we saw them. But apparently Theo told production that he was going to stay and wait for me. I never got that message because obviously they don't want me to probably get my head out of the game or whatnot. But losing, I would say I wasn't that upset because I knew I was going to see someone. So I wasn't that upset. But did it help me? Did it make me not win? Fuck no. I was already going to lose that. So Michelle totally earned it. I'm proud of her. And honestly, it was kind of a fun, I never would ever say this ever, but it was a fun elimination because it was a good elimination. It showed my strengths and her strengths in one. And it also, I respect her as a competitor and my friend. And I'd rather lose to her than someone I fucking hate, you know?
And this is the other thing. It seems like every episode, what are up with these eliminations? Like, what do people want? I don't understand. Do people want every single elimination to be a bloodbath and a headbanger? Because that's just not it. Like, it's
just not it. They're picking people from reality TV. Like, not many girls on reality TV are built the way that Tori, me, Laurel are built. Like, what they want, like, just girls to get annihilated.
But also, you need to favor different skill sets, and that's 100%. The thing. If you know that, say, every single elimination is going to be physical, then it's like, there are certain people who are never going to be going into eliminations, right? Because you know this person has a good shot is probably going to win just based on the fact that it's one-dimensional. Yeah. If you make eliminations, which they've had this season, which are multi-dimensional and which favor multiple different skill sets, and yes, there are puzzles sometimes. Yes, there is physicality sometimes. Sometimes they're as dumb as driving around in circles on a fucking ATV. Like, you never know, and that's what keeps the game. I think that's what keeps more parity in the game, is because you don't know what the elimination is going to be. I thought this was a great elimination. I thought it tested
good and
strategy. Endurance, strength, your ability to climb.
They never showed really how many times we did go up it. And also that the ladder was a puzzle in itself.
It was.
And they don't show like the different strategies we had. It's funny. They're showing Michelle bang around and like knock all her rungs off, whatever.
Yeah.
And that did happen, but there was like, she did what? Like they're just showing the funny moments, but it was pretty intense at some points. And after climbing that thing so many times, especially because it was pretty high, like it was pretty high.
It was.
And
No, you guys were up there.
terrified of heights. So
Yeah.
the closer I got to the top, the more I was like shaking.
Yeah.
And it was funny. You were cheering. You were cheering for me, and of course, you don't want me to win. You don't want her to win. You don't give a fuck. But you just wanted to piss her off so badly. You were cheering for me.
Hey, man. You know, sometimes.
But listen, she got her sweet.
I actually did want you to win because at that point you were less of a threat to me in the game than she was. So.
Fair.
Not saying you weren't at all,
Fair.
but
yeah, no, listen, I truly feel like I was
girlfriend, future ex-girlfriend, snake. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's not an equally weighted situation.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I thought you had a great season, even though we had our, even though we crossed swords there. I got nothing but love for you. I think and I've said this multiple times, there's a reason why they keep bringing you back. There's a reason why ever since your first season, I mean, you were, such a standout. And again, I just think, couldn't be happier with you and Theo found love in a hopeless place. And
it's crazy.
I ship the two of you. But yeah, thanks for coming on. And what do you want? And if people want to, find you, not in the physical sense, because we know you're in London, where can everyone find you? What's your feet finder?
Right? Well, you can go to my OF, you know what I'm saying? Link in bio.
Let's go.
You can find me on my Instagram at Olivia and Kaiser. Twitter is Olivia Kaiser XO. And I believe TikTok is at Olivia and Kaiser as well. And I vlog my life here and there. So if you guys want to see more of a day in the life, come there with only love, else I will block you. And yeah, I think that to end everything, this season, I definitely don't feel like I was the head bitch in charge. I think I was kind of honestly just enjoying the season and kind of learning a lot from people that I admire. Rachel's just insane at the game. I've learned so much from her, so much from the OGs, to be honest. You even honestly, just all of these OGs and vets, whatever you want to call them. This was the perfect season for me to, if I do play another season, I do now know what to do. Yeah. I feel like I was, naive before, and I have gotten pain before, and I've been a little aloof before, or having too much fun, and my priorities have been a little scattered. I feel like this was a perfect season for me to reset as a competitor and go back to my roots as like someone that actually played sports and come correct this time, not smoke any Vegas vapes, and just get this thing going. So I'm very happy with everything, and honestly, no animosity for really anyone. Here he is again.
Oh, there we go. Any final words, Theo?
I don't think enough people have the appreciation, but for you, Bananas, as well, which I admire, is how much you still get shocked by the game and how much you still care about the game and how invested you are. Because after 18 years and 24 seasons or whatever it is, how much you're still invested in it. Because some days, even when I was on this season, I was like, oh my God, I look at everyone else around me and think, how? So the fact you can still, drop the gears and go through them is great for the show, and is a hats off to yourself as well. Because without you, God knows where the show would have ended up or even be. So
I do have one final question.
Thank you, Theo.
For you.
I love you, man.
Do you think that you are wanting to or will ever reconcile things with Devin and become friends again?
We're fine. Listen, yes. Again, this goes back to what I was saying about the Michelle situation. This goes back to what I was saying about the Tori situation.
Yeah.
This goes back to even when I had beef with Wes. There's a difference between, I feel like, beefing with somebody on the show. I look at it as like, you can be friends. You played sports. You could be friends with somebody, but then once you're on two different teams, you're competing against each other. It's like all you want is to see that person lose. So yes, I think the reconciliation has already taken place. I mean, I think once you see the reunion show, that'll be obvious. Again, I've gotten to a point in my career where it's like, I don't take this shit personally. Okay. I don't take my work home with me. Wish them nothing but the best. I told Michelle and Devin, I'm like, listen, I'm the one with egg on my face in this situation, because here I was saying, future ex-girlfriend. You guys are going to make it. And now here you guys are, still going strong. So
I know.
Now, does part of me think that this is like the longest prank ever and they're doing it just to spite me? Like, all right, listen, babe, we can't break up. We can't break up because if we do, that makes Bananas right. Do I think that there might be a little hint of that? Possibly. But regardless,
shush.
Couldn't be happier for the two of them. I got no ill will against Devin. I think the guy brings a tremendous amount to the show.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that that we had to go separate ways, but in a lot of ways, for the sake of the show, and I'm always a show betterment of the show first. Without that kind of led to what became, I think, one of the biggest, most pivotal, most entertaining storylines of the season, because that's what started me against Tori, me against Michelle, me, kind of mixing it up with you. That whole Bananas Angel, like all that stuff, I think spawned from Devin and I butting heads. So, sometimes you need that.
Who knows? Maybe there's rivals in your future.
Sometimes you need a little thorn in your side. You know what I mean? All right. Well, listen,
Olivia, thanks for having me.
Thank you for stopping by the Death, Taxes, and Bananas podcast, where the tea flows like wine and my guests instinctively flock like the salmon of Capistrano. I'm Oprah, and I love you.